What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Julien, Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, special education teacher, and health teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness, to help you be the best you. And I have to put my teacher hat back on again. Because lately we have been experiencing a phenomenon, and when I say lately, it's been a while, but lately on social media, we're experiencing a phenomenon of people being called to task about their poor parenting skills. And when you were a little kid, for those of y'all who are around my age, what would have happened to you if your mom or your dad got a call from the school about your behavior? Well, I can tell you what would have happened to me is I'd have got my behind whooped in front of the class if I was really acting the fool and I could not listen and I was being disrespectful. God forbid if I was being disrespectful, like legit being disrespectful. But let's talk about getting a phone call home. My butt is going to be hot. I don't know how many layers of skin is getting taken off tonight. But because we have evolved, so to speak, some of us haven't, is because we are trying to reside in our mammalian brain as opposed to our reptilian. Some of us has moved past butt whooping, sort of tries to attribute it to slavery or whatever, but I'm not going to get into that. Because what we have here today, I don't even know if this video is fake or not. But what I will say is that this particular mindset that you're going to see in this video is not, it's not the majority of the parents. I will definitely say, at least from my experience, is not the majority of the parents. But what I will say is that I have experienced this type of mindset in a parent before. And you know what? I'm not even going to get into it. I'm just going to let you see it for yourself. So y'all can see it.
Miss Glass from your child's school.
Yeah, I know who this is. What's going on?
Hey, I was calling because I'm having a little bit of an issue out of your son today. He is not wanting to sit down in his seat, and he will not stop talking. So
Oh my God, I thought he was sick. So y'all don't handle that?
Well, usually we use our behavior management system, which requires for us to call the parent if the behavior is
It don't seem like it's really managing nothing if you, I mean, y'all can't, I'm trying to work.
And I understand that, and I also am trying to work, but I want us to work together to ensure the success of your scholar.
Okay.
No, ma'am, I'm not trying to get smart. I just want us to work together to ensure the success of your scholar.
Well, I mean, what are you doing?
He won't sit down and he won't stop talking. Therefore, he's not able to complete.
You can't make him sit down.
Well, I can't make a child do anything. I can request it, I can ask it, but I can't make him do it. And so I'm wanting to work together.
Like, I seen him up there to that school because y'all need to know how to handle. I thought they had teachers that know how to handle kids. I mean, if y'all can't handle them, I don't know what you want me to do.
This is Miss Glass from your child.
Okay. First of all, as a teacher, for another teacher to record a parental conference with us about a student is not exactly the most professional thing to do. Let's start with that. However, this conversation is not unique. I'm pretty sure this is the reason why this video was made. If this is real and is being recorded, I would be upset as a parent, especially if I can identify that it's me on that video. However, on the flip side, what you are experiencing is what a teacher has to deal with on a regular basis, all simply because of the mindset of the parent. The mindset of the parent nowadays is not based on whether or not your child needs correcting or whether or not your child's cup is empty. You, as a parent, in some instances, expects the teacher to serve you like we work at McDonald's. And I'm telling you right now, it's not that. We do not make Big Macs out of your children. We do not take and put salt on the fries that is the brain of your child. What we are supposed to do is pour into a vessel that is ready to learn at all times and has the training to do so. So, education begins at home, full stop. And if you are not educating your children on how the world works before they come to school, you're going to have a lot of problems on your hands. And one of the things that I will again reiterate is you guys have your kids on these freaking phones, giving it to them, let them play on it, let them play Candy Crush, let them talk on it, whatever, what have you. And they're not even out of diapers yet. Then on top of that, you're not teaching them anything. You're not teaching them respect. You're not teaching them about hard work. You're not teaching them about behavior. You're not teaching them about etiquette. You're not teaching them about their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and how to read and how to pronounce words. None of that. And this is not going out to the majority of parents. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to you. You, the parent who comes in and lets your child run wild on everybody else because that's what you allow them to do at home. And if, oh God forbid, if they actually did it at home, you'll knock them into next week. But you expect us to redirect your child's behavior in such a way where it is manageable. Well, let me explain something to you. What is true is what she talked about is a behavior matrix. And let me explain to you what a behavior matrix is. A behavior matrix is a set of steps that we go through in a school to get your child to comply with the work that they're either, or the behavior that we are trying to get them to perform. Okay? So if your child doesn't want to sit still, and understand, we're not talking about children with ADHD. We're talking about just literal, regular children. Can't get them to sit still. Can't get them to keep their mouth shut long enough for you to teach, because every 2 seconds they're doing something goofy. And then all of a sudden, it is up to us to go through this series of steps to not only protect ourselves, but to also protect the child, and also to protect the school, and also to protect the district. Because when we go through the series of steps that we would go through after that, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt, parent. So a behavior matrix is not always perfect. And I will be the first one to admit that, because at a school I used to once teach at, the behavior matrix was a 6-step process. And in that 6-step process, there was one detrimental flaw to that behavior matrix. And I'm going to start with what it tells you to do. So if a child acts up, does not what they're supposed to do, breaks a rule, does not comply to the rule, does not comply with your request to do things in a timely fashion in your classroom, you're supposed to have a conversation first and foremost. One, have a conversation. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Is everything all right? Is everything at home good? Are you okay? Did something happen to you at lunch? Did something happen to you on your way to school? What happened to you? Why are you in such a state of being that you cannot do what I'm asking you to do? And depending on the child, you might get a "my bad, mister," and then get back to work. Or "my bad, coach," when I was a PE teacher. You might get that. But then, every now and then, they want to take it to the next level. Get bent, yo. I don't know you. Yo, who is you talking to? I ain't talking to you. I ain't even do nothing. Mind your business. Why you messing with me? Why you bothering me? Right? They think that all works. Doesn't. However, when they get to that point, you escalate to level 2. Level 2 is a threat to call home. Hey, why are you talking to me like that? What is wrong with you? How would you like it if I call your mom right now? Some of them will request that you call their mom. Okay? Some of them will actually call her. I don't care. She ain't gonna do nothing anyway. Some of them are bluffing. Some of them are not. Some of them are very dead set serious on what they said. They stand on that one. And you go, okay, no problem. I'll call your mom right now. Cool, how about that? Well, let's go. Let's do that. Next thing you know, you stroll in the office. You make a phone call, and not the office. You stroll in your office, or you stroll to the phone. Or luckily now, actually, it's beautiful because you can actually call parents straight from your laptop. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. However, you could pull up and say, "Hey, Miss Such and Such, Mr. Such and Such, I have your child in my classroom right now, or in my office right now, and or in by himself with me in the classroom right now, and your child is not managing to regulate his behavior or her behavior in a respectful fashion, and I'm trying to get them to understand that these types of things is going on, that they're not allowed to be doing that. They're not allowed to jump on another kid's back while they're running during warm-ups. They're not allowed to trip another student. They're not allowed to smack somebody upside the head. They're not allowed to do any of that. Is there any way that you could talk to your child about doing these things?" And more times than not, parents start chewing them out on the phone. They'll try to explain their case. Sometimes mom believes them, sometimes mom don't. And if it seems like mom is going to believe them, and I know the truth, I'm letting them know now, nope, that's not how it went down. What happened is XYZ, XYZ, ABC, DEFG. And I even asked him several times, did he want me to call his mom? And not, if he doesn't want me to call his mom, behave better. And he'll start behaving for a little while, and then all of a sudden it'll turn into the giggle fest, the foolish fest, and he'll just act a fool. And then finally he's in front of his friends and he wants to act out, so he dared me to call you. He didn't think I'd pull up. So here we are talking to you right now about his behavior. Would you like to continue to talk to him, or would you like me to leave the room as you speak to him? And sometimes parent wants me to stay right there, and sometimes they get threatened, sometimes they don't, and that's that. Then level 3 is after you've called home, you send them to the office. Send them to the office, they're going to be sent back with a warning. Okay, that's level 3. Level 4 is you get sent back, and now this time you are issued your final warning. Level 5, is in-school suspension. And then last but not least is a suspension. But some of y'all are going, well, that sounds reasonable to me. But this school thought it would be brilliant to minimize on the level of suspensions that they will receive, when the truth is that sometimes you need to let people know you're serious. So as a result, instead of being worried about the suspensions at first, start suspending everybody. Start suspending the bad kids, so that way the good kids can actually get some work done. And then when the bad kids realize that the trigger will get pulled, then they know that they're not going to play around with their behavior, or at least they're going to modify their behavior as best as they can. So, but anyway, here's the flaw. If the child did not receive a suspension within 30 days of the first infraction, the whole thing restarts. Okay? The whole thing restarts all over again. So if your kid jumped on another kid's back and started riding him like a horse during PE, and he happened to not get to level 5 or 6, actually more like level 6, but did not get to level 6 within 30 days, everything starts all over again. I got to start back over and calling the parent. And then rinse, wash, and repeat, rinse, wash, and repeat. And then hopefully they get to suspension. But the thing is that once the kids have been in the school or in the district long enough, that behavior matrix is universal, because every school in the district is doing it, because that's coming down from the superintendent to minimize suspensions, to look good in the eyes of the Board of Education, to look good in the eyes of the Department of Education, so that way that they don't get money pulled, so that way that they don't lose their jobs. However, that was the flaw. But now things are a little bit better. Things are a little bit different. But here's the problem. Y'all think that we are supposed to train your kids like we are some lion tamers, when the truth is that you are supposed to train your kids. Parents, you are supposed to instill discipline in them and let them know that when they go to school, this is the way they're supposed to be acted. These are the people they're not supposed to be hanging out with. These are the people they are supposed to be hanging out with. If I get a phone call home about your behavior, you and me are going to have some problems. Now, granted, loss of phones and loss of Wi-Fi service is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You can shut off your child's all their devices off of your Wi-Fi while everybody else gets to use their phone and gets to use their Xboxes and PlayStations and whatever else is out there, and they're just going to be stuck with a brick. It's a beautiful thing. However, some of these kids don't respond to that either. And at that point, what do? It's your child, not mine. I didn't bring them into this world. I didn't ask for them to be here as your teacher. My job as the teacher is to teach. My job is to teach you things in life so that way you can actually progress in life. But my job is not to give you the foundation first. Because if I'm spending my time building the foundation of your education instead of expanding the horizons of your education, then I am not the one who's failing you. You are failing your child. I'm going to say that one more time. I am not failing your child when you do not provide the foundational structure of your child's behavior. Now, granted, as a special education teacher, we have a lot of children with different quirks. And those quirks, I use that term affectionately, by the way, but these quirks can have an impact on their abilities to learn. And I'm okay with it as long as there is an understanding of what this child is going through and what it's like to deal with this child inside the building when they are not regulated properly. But this whole entire conversation I'm having with you right now is about your general education kids, the kids that I don't personally teach on a regular basis. Okay? They're not my kids. They're not the kids that I teach. But I deal with them on a day-to-day basis, and they're some of the most disrespectful kids you could ever imagine. At times. Some of them are very respectful. Some of them are amazing. But we're talking about your kid, the one that this lady in this video is calling about, that he won't sit still, because it's not a first time thing of, oh, he's getting up and moving. And when I say first time thing, I don't mean this is he only got up once and didn't sit down. We're talking about he spent the last 10 minutes up and moving about and not trying to learn anything. He's too busy smacking other kids around the head and running around the classroom, tossing papers, acting a complete and utter fool. When we are regulating your children's behavior in regards to what they're doing and how they're doing it, especially whether it's from middle school to high school, because that's primarily what I teach, is the secondary level. And when you are having students look at you up and down like you short with them, sometimes I am, but when you got people looking at you like you short, when you give them instruction and when you give them direction, like, y'all can't all be in this bathroom. Man, I'm staying in this bathroom. Okay, you know what? I'm not putting my hands on you. I'm not wrestling with you. I'm not fighting with you. What's going to happen is the security is going to remove you. And when security removes you, you're going home. And you can do what you want to do with being at home, but it's not going to look good on your record. Especially when you're trying to get a job between the ages of 16 and 18. Just saying. I tell them this. And one of the things that I do is I lay it out for them on the real. I don't sugarcoat it for them. I let them know. The way you talking, you ain't going to get much of a job. You're not going to get a good one with the way you talk. Because you don't seem to understand that you don't have to use a profanity-laced tirade to get your point across every single time you open your mouth. Or you're not Googling marijuana on your laptop that you're supposed to be doing history on, or health, or math. You're busy looking up weed. So you're busy looking up guns. You worry about the wrong things. But now, this teacher is frustrated. This teacher's frustrated because the parent doesn't even want to be bothered dealing with their own child. It's your child. I'm trying to get work done. I'm trying to teach these kids. I'm trying to get our test scores up so that way they don't close my school. I'm trying to make sure that we are on the up and up and professional about what it is that we're doing with your child, because the last thing I want to do is deal with your child on the level to which physicality is involved, because your child is now getting physical with me because I have made them sit down as you so requested. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not listening to a parent on that, because I'm not making your child do anything. Your child is either going to listen to me, they're going to listen to the law. One of the two. It's your choice. If you remember the last video that I played for you, this mom complained about her son being 20 years old and trying to rep somebody's set since he was 12 years old. Wants to be in somebody's gang, wants to be from somebody's hood, and he ain't from none of that. Right? But whose fault was it? Whose fault was that? What were you doing? The one thing that I said in that video, I made a comment on the video, and I had literally over 130 responses to my comment. Some of them were positive, most of them were negative. Oh, come on, man. Put him to work. You didn't put that boy to work. All you did was buy him any and everything he ever wanted. He never had to earn anything in his life. Well, that's not true, because my mom bought me everything I ever wanted and I didn't end up in jail. No, did I say you? No, I didn't say you. Stop jumping out the window for these fools. Stop trying to turn around and be a crash test dummy for these people that think that it's okay to raise their kids that way. Now, I'm not saying you got to make them work like Oliver Twist to get something from you, but geez, put them to work. Let them know what an honest day's pay does. So that way, when they want to work, when they realize that hard work gets them stuff, then now they want to work hard instead of trying to be in the streets trying to flip stacks or trying to be a plug for somebody. All of your kids, for those of you who we're talking to, all your kids want to do is be a TikTok star, want to be a social media influencer, because it don't pay unless you balling, right? Then on top of that, they want to be a rapper or some sort of athlete. Those are the three paths that they choose these are the three paths that they choose to go on instead of wanting to be an engineer, wanting to be a doctor, wanting to be a lawyer, wanting to run their own business. I had to convince some of my students in the past to graduate high school because even though they got a job lined up with their family may not want to give them the keys to the kingdom when it's time for them to retire because you're not bright. because you dropped out, because you don't pay attention in algebra, math, geometry, or any of that, even though geometry is a major part of your education necessities because you are in construction or your family works in construction. It boggles my mind because a lot of my students, a lot of students in general, don't respect teachers. You want to know why they don't respect teachers? Because they think that because a teacher makes as much as their mom in some cases, that they don't command the respect. Because what is an education getting? My mom didn't graduate high school, and she got a job that makes more money than you. My mom didn't graduate college, but she got a job that makes the same amount of money as you do. And you don't think they'd look up how much a teacher makes in the state of wherever you're from to know that mom or dad or both makes more money than you and they didn't graduate high school? Or that they did graduate high school while your dummy went to college? So what's in it for me? What's in it for me that I want to turn around and go to college, spend all this money and not reap any positive benefits of it that I could get without having to spend time for 4 years in an institution that I do not care to be in? Explain that to me. The problem right now is that people do not value an education at all, because there is no value to an education, because everybody and their mama is trying to find a way to make money in a way that is as with the path of least resistance. And it's our fault, because we've convinced our kids that what we do is grind and hustle and work to make money, so that way that they don't have to grind, hustle, and work. And then when it's time for them to grind, hustle, and work, they don't even know what the slightest clue about grind, hustle, and work really is, because they've never had to do it. So then when they're homies, so yo, we could do this and we could do that. Yo, we make mad loot, and we make mad loot real quick. Guess what? What do you think they're gonna do? Because they're looking about making money. And the biggest mistake that they could possibly be making at the time is that they think that money makes it all happen, and it doesn't. They don't know that it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. What are you doing with your money? If you're buying all kinds of Jordans and Balenciagas and all Yeezys and Louis scarves and Gucci belts and all of that stuff, guess what's going to happen? Givenchy, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to give on shit. Because you broke. And a lot of you parents break yourselves just to make your kids be the cool kids of the school. And what makes your kid cool is not really what's inside, it's what's on the outside, what the threads are. And you guys are going to fail your child miserably, because you are not pouring integrity, character, honor, and respect into your children. Okay? So I'm gonna land this plane. We have to put ourselves in a better position in life so that we value the things that are real and teach our children better, so that you and them can be the best you. Guys, I appreciate your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class of Stoutt.